The token market is completely different in NBA 2K23, but I'm going to show you how it works. So you can see in 2K23, if you head over to the pack market, you can obviously go into the token market like you've always been able to do. But it's a lot different. It's separated into both of the NBA Series 1s, the starters option packs for each individual conference. So we have the Eastern Conference with obviously every single team that is available. And then we have the Western Conference with every single team that is available. But you'll also notice that there's some price differences, and this kind of just depends on who has the better cards. Obviously, not too many people are going to be hyped about some of the Jazz players, especially now that Donovan Mitchell's gone. So he's only 10, they're only 10 for these higher ones, and 2 for these 10 card packs. But there's also a little bit of a difference in how these sort of work, because obviously some are worth more than others. So basically, if I were to open up this 76ers option pack right here with these 2 tokens that I have, I obviously don't have too many, but I plan on just using them onto here. You can see when we open this up, we get a bunch of different options from the 76ers NBA 70, I said NBA 75th, 21st Series 1, the NBA Series 1, the 2023 Series 1, there we go. And you essentially just get to pick from these guys. So for the 76ers, we get Isaiah Joe, Jaden Springer, Charles Bassey, Paul Reed, Daniel House, Shake Milton, Georges Niang, Furkan Korkmaz, D'Anthony Melton, and PJ Tucker, and all obviously have their different positions that they are good at. Now, I don't have many of these cards, and I'm actually doing this because I want to level it up. And Korkmaz is usually a good shooter. I'm just going to add him to the team just to have him there because I don't have much of my stuff. And then if we were to, obviously go on all of these other packs, we'll get some of the lower rated cards. So what you can expect in a lot of these is in the NBA Series 1, what they're going to do is these bottom of 10 cards are going to be the ones that you see. So you're going to get an option between PJ Tucker, D'Anthony Melton, Georges Niang, Daniel House, Shake Milton, Isaiah Joe, Jaden Springer, Charles Bassey, Paul Reed, and Korkmaz, as we just saw. But then if you're going to, pick any other, you're going to get any single connection between any of these other guys. But what's great about the other option packs that you'll end up, maybe getting if you want to, is you'll actually get a choice of these top 5 cards right here. That's why there's 15. So with each team, you can pick either the, bottom 10 cards or the top 5 cards. That's essentially how it works with both those option packs, but obviously there's ones that are going to be a bit better than others. So obviously with the 76ers one, you'll get a pick between Embiid, James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, and Matisse Thybulle. Now, there's ones that aren't going to be too worth it just because of who you get. Like, for example, we get a starter pack. We get Ja Morant, Jimmy Butler, and Joel Embiid. So the 76ers giving Joel Embiid, probably not the most useful, as the Evo card is going to be a little bit better. And then for obviously the Memphis Grizzlies, you can get Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, Steven Adams, and Dillon Brooks. Really, you only want Ja Morant or maybe Jaren Jackson Jr., but there's obviously some better options. If you want Jaren, you can use that, but he's like 30 tokens because you could possibly get Ja Morant. But obviously, you should just stick with the Evo, have some fun with that card because you can kind of pick what it's going to be good at. You don't have to add too many badges onto him, and it's going to be a little bit more fun. And then the other guy's going to be Jimmy Butler for the Heat. Now, I would say this is the one exception because obviously there's Jimmy, but there's also Bam Adebayo, who's going to be a pretty good card, I think, for most people to pick up. And these other 3 like Lowry, Hero, and Oladipo are going to be pretty solid. But the options that are obviously going to be good are the Milwaukee Bucks, picking up Giannis. You also have an option of Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, which are all going to be good options to add to your team. Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis, probably not so much. You got guys like Zach LaVine, maybe Lonzo Ball for a taller PG, DeMar DeRozan, who obviously is not going to be able to shoot the 3, but is going to be a mid-range maestro for you. I can maybe get you some buckets. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are one that I would kind of avoid a little bit. The Celtics with Brown or Tatum are both good options. It's going to be a hard choice, I think, for some people, but it's definitely nice. The Atlanta Hawks obviously have some of these other guys which are going to be worth it. But I think the ones that you should focus on the most in these is obviously the Milwaukee Bucks to get Giannis. If you can get an option pack, spend those 30 tokens and get Giannis, it's definitely going to be, awesome to have him on your team. Power forward centers, you're going to be able to do a lot of things. Obviously not shoot too many threes, but he's still going to give you some options. Next is probably the Brooklyn Nets. You have Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, and Kevin Durant. Now, obviously Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are probably going to be the 2 that you lean when you're actually picking these, but both are going to be good options just to have some pretty nice cards. Indiana Pacers, I think Detroit Pistons, and the Toronto Raptors, sadly, are going to be ones, and Washington Wizards that I would probably avoid. Also, most likely the Charlotte Hornets, unless you really want LaMelo Ball. I would avoid the Knicks. I would avoid the Magic. Basically, most teams that are bad. The Utah Jazz still have Donovan Mitchell on them, but I just don't really see it being too worth it. Sacramento Kings, again, I don't really see it being too worth it for you unless you really want Keegan Murray. Los Angeles Lakers, another one's gonna be really good. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are both gonna be cards that are gonna go for a lot of MT. Westbrook, not really a high rating, not really a card that I think too many people are gonna be searching for. Golden State Warriors is another one for 30 tokens. I think it's a great value because you can pick between Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry. And even the lower ones, you can still get some pretty good cards. So I think the Golden State Warriors are definitely gonna be one of the better ones. In general, I would also kind of stay away from the OKC Thunder. Los Angeles Clippers, you have a choice between Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, maybe a John Wall if you want him, and Norman Powell. John Wall, I think, is still an emerald, even though he hasn't really played in ages, but he's still a halfway decent card, especially in my team that can, I think, get a lot of buckets for you. Avoid the Houston Rockets, avoid the Pistons. If you want to get a nice center like Jokic or Jamal Murray, I think that's also a pretty good option that you could think about. Avoid, I think, the Spurs, avoid the Trailblazers unless you really want Damian Lillard, but I just don't really see it being too useful. So there's, again, some slight ones. And I guess to give you a quick little demonstration, I don't have the most of tokens, but I think I'll pick up one of these, base option packs just to show you guys kind of what you could be, I guess, looking towards. And I don't, again, have the most tokens, so I guess some of these aren't going to be the most worthwhile, but I guess I said avoid the Toronto Raptors, but I do kind of want to pick them up. What I am going to do, though, because I do need a better, I guess, power forward, we'll pick this Toronto Raptors option pack. It's only 10 tokens. You'll get something like this when you first open them up, just like we got with the 2. But as you can see, we started off with Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Scottie Barnes, OG Anunoby, and Gary Trent Jr., which are some pretty good options. I'm pretty weak at the power forward and the small forward position, so I'm going to end up going with Scottie Barnes. But boom, you can just nice and easy add some cards to your lineup if you don't want to end up ripping some packs and you want to specifically select some of these bigger cards. I would say in general, it's probably not the smartest idea to spend your 2 tokens to get gold players. You're going to eventually get most of the gold players throughout the game. This, I think, is just here for later on in the game if you're trying to finish out some collections and maybe a specific card is like super expensive, like they're charging 30-40k for a lot of these gold cards. I would say, use this, pick up the gold card, and then, finish out your collection. But aside from that, I would say either save up your tokens and use them at a later date, which is probably the smartest option, or go for those big ticket guys, like save up 30 tokens and get Giannis, save up 30 tokens and get LeBron James or Anthony Davis, depending on who you want, and then kind of go from there. I just think it's the all-around smartest option for anybody that's looking to play my team. But it is interesting. I like the idea of changing up the token market, but I don't exactly think that the problem was that the token market system was bad. It just never got updated consistently enough, and it just wasn't as good as we wanted it to be. So let me know what you guys think of the new token market down in the comment section below. Like the video if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you want to do the channel. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.